Okay, we should be live. It should be back. Everything should be working as planned. We're back, everyone. We fixed it. We
We're
good?
back.
We bowl?
It's all good. Non-crackly microphone, working fine now. Wonderful, happy days. Brilliant. W, Mike. Thank you, guys.
That's what we want. Okay, Pog.
Yeah, you've only missed the laning phase. It's fine, guys. We're in mid-game. That's where it counts,
Yeah.
right?
You saw this 3 times back to back yesterday. You didn't need to see it today.
Yeah, we skipped the boring part. It's fine. But yeah, we're back in business. I've been watching the game in the meantime. Really, all that we missed so far is some early kills coming through from Yamato, and honestly, the Infernus getting dumpstered by a Kelvin and a Viscus. It's actually an interesting thing because we're already playing Kelvin's Burning Dome of Fire. So I think he's building Return Fire into Alchemical Fire early. So Xaniya's doing some fun stuff. And already a 12-minute 30 mid-boss Jacky.
Ooh, they're going for his genes, mate. Stealing mid-boss's genes immediately. Shouldn't be seeing any steals here today. You've got a bit of posturing off the back with the Geist and the Paradox, but instantly drop the Dome, get the Confirm on the Rejuve, and it's all good and proper. So no shenanigans there.
Yeah, I mean, with the Kelvin in play as well, Ice Dome for taking mid-boss early, you get one pick. If they can go for that, yeah, it's just super easy. If you drop the Dome on top of it, there's no way to steal. Within 9 seconds on the drop from the Rejuvenator, you drop that around about 3 seconds in, they just cannot get in, and they were in no position to stop it. I mean, I don't really know anyone who would sort of expect the 12-minute 30 mid-boss, but if you've got Abrams, Viscus, and Kelvin, all with kind of high melee damage, you'd be surprised the amount of burst you can get with Abrams punch into Viscus punch and Kelvin punch at the same time, which is what we saw from them there. Because usually you'd need a haze or a wraith to pull something off. No, the punch actually is brutal.
Big dog pile back over towards the York lane as well, putting pressure on not only the walker. Quick change of pace on the flick back around. You get 7 supporting the lash to get the shutdown back onto the Kelvin, and you at least clean house. The Grey Talon's got a bail from that. It's an uncomfortable position to be in. Yamato in the getaway looks for the zip line all the way up towards the top of the roof, trying to reposition. Not that easy for you. Rejuve, of course, in play though, so you won't be out for too long, even with the slight staggering on the respawns there.
Yeah, I mean, they went for mid-boss, but I do like what Team Jamside went for there, which is actually kind of a big play in terms of just objectives control. Ooh, locked him in. The Alchemical Fire as well. This is kind of what I thought was going to happen. The Burning Ice Dome, kind of an insane play. To be honest, I like that Kelvin, we've got Xaniya here actually pulling out some of the more memey builds. But to be honest, Kelvin's Burning Dome of Fire actually is a very strong build. And in terms of buffing up the rest of his team with the 50% extra conditional damage, weapon damage from Alchemical Fire, it's sort of big. It's sort of big. So I actually really enjoy this sort of just close range gameplay composition, because you even have Dome into Haze ult, Dome into just locking you in there with the Yamato. This is an awesome comp coming through from Team Recrent.
Yeah, this is nice, dude. It's going to actually be good as well today, where we'll get a full taste of late game finishes with these 2 comps as well. Obviously, yesterday, right, didn't really get the full flavor of some of the games we were seeing. We get a lot of stopping and starting. Saw the same game 3 times over, basically, for the early phase. Here we get a true taste of it. I like the tech there as well for the getaway on the Viscus. The little jelly maneuver. You get the puddle punch off the back of the backboard, so you ricochet yourself further away for the movement speed. It doesn't work out perfectly. Yamato on the response back as well. They're scrapping, Blank. Oh, we're getting a brawl on the streets.
They need to as well, bro, because for Team Recrent, they kind of have this early game pop-off composition versus sort of this late game monstrous comp that's coming through from Team Jamside. So right now what you're seeing is Team Recrent just consistently trying to take more advantage inside the lanes. Another nice little shot here into Withering Whip does drop the old bullet resist on the character, and on top of the fact that I don't think we quite got the minus 12% bullet resist coming through from Sleep Dagger just yet, but still, she is doing a ton of damage at this stage of the game.
You get the jungle POV as well. 7 doing what he does best. Drop the big balls down. Zap them up. Call that one a shocker. So make the most of the opportune time to farm here. Infernus back up in lane as well in 5 seconds. Lash getting the contact back down the push up here towards Orchard lane. Kelvin really going in deep as well. Using the ice path makes it a bit more uncomfortable. You get the DPS out from the side. A chemical fire over the top as well, keeping them further back.
That's 7 down again. So honestly, the lead is lengthening right now. And with the urn just being held by Haze, like they're forcing a ton of players off over towards the left-hand side of the map, in which case they're going to quickly aggress over towards blue lane, grab the walk from it. So a really nice bit of macro there from the Haze to divert attention. Again, Team Recrent looked like they were in a bad spot, but they're looking to close out the game quickly. 17 minutes currently.
It was around this point yesterday, Blank, everything went slightly wrong. So let's lock in. Let's hope for the best. We'll get ahead of it by calling it out and hope it doesn't happen. But this is not what you want to be going through. Ooh, Orchard splattered with red there. Double pick up on that one. Nearly the full 30-second reset on both Geist and Lash. So putting you down into a bit of a predicament here. Soul lead starting to build further ahead as well now. So Recrent looking good today, coming out swinging in the first of our BO freeze, Blank.
Yeah, honestly, I really like the comp they went for. It's a full flip-flop, honestly, from what we saw yesterday with Team Jamside going for the more early game comp. This time they've chosen something a bit more late game compared to Recrent's early game composition. But they're just taking walkers left, right, and center. And the big one is the orange lane. They still not lost their Guardian yet, has Team Recrent. So you can see at the bottom left of the screen, right now Team Jamside's just starved for flex slots, right? They cannot buy that 13th item just yet, so they are struggling because they've bought everything they can. Right now Infernus is stuck with 3k, 7 stuck with 3k. He's had it a bit of a better time because he's been able to pick up Surge of Power so far. But yeah, this is not where you want to be right now. At least you can save up the 6,300, pick up Boundless Spirit and get a little bit stronger off the back of that. But yeah, this is a stressful time. All the while, what they're doing is just allowing the Haze to farm up, Jacky.
You know what you never want, Blank, going up against you, mate? It's a farmed Haze. It's where it gets damn scary. You give her the big guns, let her unload. The assassin potential, she could roam a lot more as well. Going to keep that pressure on and make it incredibly uncomfortable late game. So the bigger that number gets, the more souls being put in a soul-based backpack. It's made of leather, Blank, so they can't get out.
Look at this though, Jacky. They're sending this full 6-man here over towards the Orange Guardian. They want that flex slot as badly as possible. They're already taking down the Kelvin, so that dome's not going to be in play. Neither is the Alchemical Fire, but the Yamato does so much damage in this fight, Jacky.
The snap back from Yamato, good, puts the punishment on Paradox. Looking for the follow-up as well. Warden pops the ult, hopes for the best. The battle of the clashes now then. And they outlast one another. That consistent heal coming back across. Smooth with the ult fire on the trace. Oh, mate, that is dastardly. What looked to be a 1-for-2 trade, you at least get some battle back, finding the pick up onto the Abrams towards the end. But look who's causing issues. Haze, deep towards base, taking out those inner tower Guardians.
Yeah, this is an unreal maneuver here. I mean, they're going to grab the Guardian. They'll get that flex slot, but likely the Shrine's going to go down. They're desperately all sending back. Lash is on the way, and the Haze just pieces out. Doesn't even give him that. Knows that right now, with Abrams coming back soon, as well as the Yamato, she doesn't want to go down, stagger that respawn, because mid-boss is now again in play. And it looks like they're already starting it, Jacky. Again, just utilizing the fact that they have the dome. The punch is going to be very, very strong on this side of things. In comes the rest of the team with the lanes pushed in. They have to fix them, leaving mid-boss wide open for Team Recrent to take it.
And that's what you want to do, right? Split the attention, put pressure on various parts. The gameplay then is more of a split decision in your minds. Do we focus on trying to stop the mid-boss, or do we actually play for the overall defense of your walkers, control the lanes? And it makes it far harder for them to dogpile on. So like you say, especially with the backup, that GG safety net effectively. Oh, mate! That is filth.
Did you see Hardecki's tracking on the headshots there? What was that, bro?
No, that is really clean, actually. And that's what we're saying, right? That assassination potential on you. Hey, as soon as she gets going, dude, catch a Lash out of position like that and leave him with Whiplash.
Mate, that was unreal. I mean, this is what I'm so excited to see. It's just the high-level play, like just tracking the headshots like that. You can see why, for instance, Hayes has become incredibly strong with the fixation stacks going up into the roof on the headshots because they stack up twice as fast on those head clicks. Really, really well played. I like that. I like that a lot. And again, I think Team Recrent's played this well. Despite that, though, the soul lead is not as big as it was before, 136k to 122. But I imagine the ability point lead is quite high for Team Recrent currently. And with Hardecki consistently stacking up more and more souls here, he's going to become a problem. Realistically, I think for Team Recrent, their main problem is going to be the 7 over on Team Jamside. But they can lock him down. You know, they've got a lot of stuns available. The Abrams can get in there. The Viscus can lock him down with the goo ball. They've got a huge amount of ways to stop the 7 ult as well. I think the Grey Talon coming through from Recrent was a great pickup, honestly. Being able to have that aerial stun for 7 after he ults is a great way to counter that.
Gotta be careful out here.
Here we go then. Yeah, being bounced around by the big balls of goo, knocking them further back and making it uncomfortable, at least for 7. Sheer burst potential with the Haze being put on display as well. Absolutely melting those base Guardians and leaving you completely fragmented now, making it far harder. Oh, dude, this is looking to be a real quick one on it. 22-minute game so far. Burst potential through the roof. Going to take the first shrine as well, get the extra flex slot to pay with, stack out on those items. This could be game.
Yeah, and I mean, it has to be, right? Because I think that Team Recrent realizes that the late game potential coming through from Team Jamside is just too much. So they've had to accelerate the game as much as possible to get into the base. And I genuinely think with 7 being down here, there is even a potential that they just take down the weakened patron at this point. The speed at which Hardecki is going to ruin this with the help of the dome as well, that is just game. And we've got through our first one, Jacky. Can you believe it?
There we go. It's in the bag, off the back of that. The burst of Haze hitting them heavy. And they're going to be able to pick that one up. That's a huge first game, actually, dude. All right, so all problems aside from yesterday, we might have had technical issues. We might have been starved out in the BO freeze. But today we get our first map played out. And that was tasty, dude. Completely different flow of what we saw from the early game yesterday. But it leaves us in this position. You're looking at the bottom side of the bracket here in the semi-finals. Team Recrent, 1 map up in the BO3 against Jamside.
In terms of just, if you've got the mechanical skill to play it, it's big. But we're into our draft. And 7 will get banned out first, which should force Team Recrent to ban Dynamo, I believe. We'll see. Am I correct in my assumption? I am.
Give him time to think. But there it is. Okay, Dynamo counter ban back in. So we get 7 and Dynamo out of play. 2 bans left, and then the picks here. This is game 2, by the way. Recrent up 1 map so far, taking the first of 3 here in the semi-finals.
Do we have any predictions coming out of you guys, by the way, into this one?
For the series overall?
Yeah.
I think at this point, I don't know about you, Blank, but I'm going to strap in. I think Recrent got this. I feel like they got their finger on the pulse of Deadlock right now.
Right.
Comps have been good. The in-game's been nice.
I mean, being able to just like, I think play the comp correctly, and it genuinely, when you watch them play, they have a goal, and the way they achieve that goal with the comp orientated around it is really well done. So their last game, their goal was just to play the early game. In this time, we got Team Jamside taking that Kelvin away from Xaniya, as well as picking up Lash. This is so mean, bro. Xaniya once again just does not get to play either Kelvin or Lash, but he does pick up Pocket. I assume in this case, I think he is the first pick. And Mo and Krill gets taken. So now we'll get our second 2 bans coming through from either side. Pocket, Kelvin, Yamato, Lash, Mo and Krill. Maybe an Abrams coming out is good. I think not allowing them to combo the Abrams with the Kelvin is a good idea. I mean, the big slow into the punches is bad. And a Grey Talon, which stops Recrent from playing that. So he might play Vindicta this game. Yeah. Mike, dude,
there we go. All right. He's nailing it. He's nailing it. Hey, this is kind of sick, though, actually. We did have some snippets of the Vindicta gameplay. I'll tell you, some of the pixel peaks we were seeing with the snipes on those results that weren't actually counted from yesterday, it was pretty damn clean. So that's going to be fun to see with Vindicta back in play. Mo and Krill, always fun as well, of course. The disarm potential. That's why he was banned out yesterday, but he's here now. So that will be interesting. Hayes and Shiv with the double back-to-back picks, though, for Team Jamside.
Yeah, I'm actually not a huge fan right now in Team Jamside's comp. Again, playing against Viscous, Pocket, Vindicta, Mo and Krill, and Infernus and Ivy are absolutely horrendous picks to go into for that team. So much lockdown potential. I mean, Mo and Krill into Yamato is huge as well, because if you're able to combo the Yamato, obviously she can't use her ult. So you just combo her before she ults, and Shadow Form doesn't go through, and you just be able to take her down. There's so many stuns on the side of Team Recrent, and honestly, I do think Infernus is one of the most horrific counters to Hayes. The fact that you just be able to just run at a Hayes, she can't really do too much. Like, she doesn't have a massive amount of escape potential. She has her dashes. A lot of them build into superior stamina. I just don't think that's enough, though, Jacky. This is cool, though. This is really, really cool. I love the way Team Recrent's building. And all respect to Jamside, they picked the Shiv. Hopefully it works out.
I'm right there with you, though. I think looking at this with the quick eye test, they kind of got it down right now. That comp seems vastly better. It feels a lot more of an individual pickup for Jamside versus a comp that synergizes really well. And like you say, does have some good direct counters, especially the dot from Infernus. Yeah, that Hayes, good luck getting the same level of burst potential. You know, you're going to be farming for a while there and have to hope for the best, Amp.
Right. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and let you take us into the second map of the first series here at the Aurora Deadlock Masters, brought to you by 1xBet. I'll let you guys have a good time. So enjoy this one. Let's hope it goes well. No little technical difficulties. It'll all be good. All good things.
All right. Well, here we are, back in the casting booth, strapped in again. Man. Okay, this is going to be good. We've had one game that worked with no crash.
Yeah.
We can strap in, hope for the idea being that the second game will also work with no crash. And that would be pretty smooth, actually. But I like the look of this. I think as a best of three here, especially today, with things going well so far, knock on wood, and the comps we've gotten out of this one, it's kind of interesting. I'm glad we're getting a bit of a different rotation on some of the bans as well, even for us as a bit of a neutral third party, right, to see what sort of different styles we're going to be getting. I was surprised as well, because Mo and Krill right now, I feel like in a proper team environment with synergized gameplay, the disarm potential into just setting you up for an execute with that sudden burst of DPS from your team, it's got to be so frustrating. I feel like Mo and Krill, if played well, I can see why he'd be on kind of a rough permaban. But this is an interesting one we've got, bro.
Yeah, it's just in terms of chase potential as well. And I think if a Moncrill kind of gets towards that mid game and has a lot of souls on board, they do sort of become unkillable. And in terms of a front line that opens up things for some of the back line, it is big. The only thing I worry about for Team Recrent a little bit is that the DPS, at least early game, is going to be sort of relying over towards the Infernus. The Pocket certainly can carry a lot of that early game for them, and I think it is Xaniya on the Pocket, and he seems to be like kind of a really good roaming player overall, so I'm excited to see what he can get done. But yeah, the big difficulty right now for Team Jamside is the fact that they almost undoubtedly will, at least most of the team's going to have to invest 1,250 into debuff reducer. My stream is always back.
I think it's back. It's back. I saw it go black for a second. It turned off. The feed that we're being sent, of course, from Aurora, but it's returned.
I got scared.
I'm hearing game sound. I'm hearing some viscous noises on a zip line, which makes me think it looks like we're ready for the game, and we will be. Okay. Strap in, everyone. We can get back into the action then. All right, game two. Of the Aurora 1xBet Invitational, $10,000 on the line blank between some of the brightest sparks in the scene right now. Very early for Deadlock Esports, but it's a pleasure to be here for it. And we actually get a full laning phase on this one. It's going to be working today.
It's kind of wild, honestly. Straight away, we're getting into the game on board with the Pocket and the Viscous. Over on this side of things, it's going to be Xaniya playing on the Mo and Krill, and Mo and Krill doing Mo and Krill things, already up to 338 souls very early on, and just went through, scorned everything. Team Jamside actually really harassing the Infernus hard. He'll have to back off. Likely healing right going to be the first item there, or a quick zipline boost back to base. But yeah, the harass here with the flog coming through from Lash, as well as the power slash coming through from the Yamato, is kind of big. This is depressing to play against. The Moen Krill actually laning into a Shiv is sort of...
Oh,
Come on, Xaniya. I know that you wanted to parry it, but you've already wasted your scorn.
ooh.
I
Sequence
saw...
of
I knew...
events on that one, dude. Yeah.
I saw the idea behind it, you know, the parry into the Guardian and then go from there with a Scorn, but yeah, no. But in the meantime, you see the Shiv walk into all the troopers and forget that he's not got bloodletting yet, so he does take a huge amount of damage for his troubles.
Man, these are some ego challenges early, dude, as well, with some of these fights, actually. But okay, kind of spicy to start us off then so far. Never a dull moment in the first 2 minutes of our second game of the BO3. And this is for the win as well, of course. You can see that indicated just below in the middle there with the little soul bars, I think they've made them, just to fill up. You get a whole load of blue, man. Yeah, it's kind of on theme. I'll take that.
Yeah, it's cute. Moen Krill's, there's quite a few points that are going to go into Scorn early on, I imagine, whilst we're waiting to pick up some more of that healing for himself, because at some point it does become very hard to push him outside of lane, which is the perfect pickup versus... Ooh, this is the problem with playing Vindicta into Warden. Just the 2 stamina does make it difficult to get out the way of the binding word coming through from Warden. But yeah, for the Moen Krill, it's going to be very hard for Shiv to push him out of lane. Like, he relies sort of on using the poke from the daggers and the bleed on top of that to force characters into an uncomfortable position. You also saw a cool little thing there that came through from the haze, and this is something you can apply to your own games, which is where if players try and go for the punch onto the creeps under your Guardian or under their Guardian, you can parry in front of the creep to get a massive amount of damage off, and sort of unexpectedly. That's problematic. Does he die to the afterburn? No.
Barely gets out. Lucky to be alive as well, because rather than just calling her Ivy, I call her Poison Ivy. She's all over them like a rash right now, Blank. This is nice DPS, consistently keeping it awkward towards Orchard. Fast flick, looking for the deny on the Soul Orb as well. Not smooth enough on that one. Back to lane though, looking for the support. Keep each other topped up for the heals. And just make it uncomfortable for the Lash and Yamato combo here.
Yeah, I'm sort of just waiting for when the urn gets put back in play, because there's some plays you can make right now a magic carpet, but that doesn't come into fact until very late game, where you can magic carpet before picking up the urn and take it to the other side of the map. But Ivy can do that with just ult alone. You just pick up a teammate, and the teammate can carry urn whilst being Ivy ulted, so you can get a lot of free urns really early and just toss them into the landing point like a basketball. This was a hell of a counter pick coming through from Xaniya. It's causing such problems for the Shiv. I mean, you can see this combo already acquired here for Xaniya, and 2.1k for the Shiv. This is bad.
Yeah, you're going to get so many ults online here. You see the sheer difference in the ult economy you've now got to work with Fordham online. Instantly, Ivy going to be popping that as well and go for the airdrop. So looking for that quick rotate in for the stun. Yeah, you can get that lockdown in, drop the bomb off for the silence. Moen Krill looking to clean up off the back of it. Oh, goodbye, Shiv. He is now a Dollblade, Blank.
I honestly, I respected the parry. I think that would have been a crazy parry to be able to hit it. But yeah, that's a very nice play. The instant response time from the Ivy with airdrop that goes into the combo for that additional damage, I think it's around about 200 damage early on, which is sort of big, and reduces their bullet resist with the first T1 placed into it. And obviously late game, once you get the T5 silences for 3.25 seconds, that is really huge. But curious, so far 23k to 17k, so very much winning this laning phase right now from Recrent. Remember, they are 1 point up in the best of 3, so just this game would do it. And again, this is Moen Krill to a T. If you let him, he's just going to push all the way up to everything you've got. And realistically, the Shiv's not being able to do too much. Tries to burrow out the way of that one, is able to get underground, can Scorn in the middle of it. He needs some assistance badly though, dude.
No backup available. They couldn't send in the boys to help the mad mole man out. So he goes down, but the harass off the back of it, at least, the amount of time you've been able to buy with pushing these lanes deep and leading so much. Obviously, only now you're getting that sort of catch up in terms of the soul lead to give yourself back and gets ult to work with over on the side of Jamside. All in all, it's been a pretty dominant early game. Only 6 minutes played out with the amount of pressure you're putting on, and you are just battering your way through. They're being able to farm pretty freely, catching up at least overall in terms of the distance you've got on the soul. So it's 24k, 26k, not that much of a substantial lead. But overall, you're looking pretty good, at least in terms of controlling the early game and keeping pressure on the different lanes, pushing it back up. Furnace looking to put the damage back down as well. Guardian about halfway gone here.
Yeah, I think the big difference is the fact that we have, I think it's 4 out of 4 Guardians still available. In comes the combo. It should be another free kill. And this is the big thing with Mo and Krill. Just that influence over towards early game is really big. The combo is such a long stun for this stage of the game, right? That it does become a little bit difficult to deal with. But yeah, so this is really nice. The amount of towers that's still up, Ivy just dropping on the tower's head there and getting the parry off. That was interesting, but also cool. Yeah, I think now I sort of understand in a coordinated team comp why Mo and Krill is that coveted ban.
Yeah, we were hypothesizing about it, but you can really see it in full frontal view here with how it's being utilized. The early game potential as well. Second, they got those set of ults up and that synergy with Ivy, it was on full display. All right then, mate. Not even 10 minutes played out at this point, and you're getting a lot of free roam.
It means this is might be the last Guardian been taken down as well for Team Jamside. Just about is able to hold on to it with Lash, but you can see it's just got a sliver of HP left on it. Oh, Dimov is feeding. He's not. Okay, that's mean of me to say, but he has been taken down fairly frequently. He's not been able to get too much done here, but the Haze is not really the character you want to be giving away all these souls over to. We're going for some cheeky movement tactics here.
Yeah, he's trying to get the clip off the side of the balcony. You can wall bounce back off it and then get high enough up. You can do it in a lot of places, but it is a bit awkward with the geometry. You've got to get it pixel perfect. Oof. Lash taking an absolute beating. So fight's starting to break out. You get the mega lane starting to form as well with everyone grouping up. Make quick work of the jungle camps and try and put the pressure on. Vastly outnumbering them in a battle of attrition, at least on the push. This does buy a bit of time for Shiv. Mo and Quilt switched on about the rotate, gets over there, hits him with a sandblast. Get that little disarm off and sends the Shiv further back. So at least controls the Guardian for now. It's not going to go down the creep wave.
I'm really curious what Wulfee's currently saving up for here on the Shiv, because he's got 5k, which would insinuate he's saving up for the 6.3k item, but in the early game it's like, what does he really need at this point? So sort of interesting. Drops the tether there into the cube. That is a lot of players, and maybe more than potentially Recrent was hoping for. In a small room though, locked in with the Infernus, you should be dead. No debuff reducer, and Recrent's able to pick up the Kelvin as well as the Haze into one more over towards the Lash, and that is a big turnaround coming through for Team Recrent.
Flip the script immediately. Huge stagger as well. 3 respawns you've got to wait for. Kelvin back in play. Haze back up. Lash about to return as well. And Ivy, second airdrop called in. Had me a little bit scared there. We saw a slight feed on the freeze, but all good. Ivy's still moving on over. So uses that as the quick rotate potential to once again assist towards the lane. Make sure they can push deep on this. Bit of a chase afoot. See if they can track the man down and finish him off, and make sure they confirm onto the jungle as well.
Yeah, this is where now Mo and Krill is going to become even more of a problem. Last point into your ultimate, and this is what I'm talking about. You get the combo off. It doesn't give them any opportunity to ult there. It was down for Yamato in that instance, but you can see how strong it's going to be late game. Catch a Yamato off guard with the combo. But now that he's got his 5th point into Burrow, should be able to go around and steal the majority of the jungle, which is going to take a lot of that gold, that soul off the table for Team Jamside. Yeah, I think you're too big for your boots, isn't he? I'm not gonna lie. He's still a broken character.
Vindicta with a snipe as well. You never get that shot off back onto the lash then. Oh, it feels like Jamside at the minute. You're just being so staggered in so many of these fights. Taking these 1v2s. Ooh, Ivy with the getaway, looking to try and at least survive for as long as possible here. Stone form into the cube, going to be able to keep herself topped up. That's the Warden ult baited out as well off the back of it. Oh, mind the gap here in the underground, but it's not enough for the getaway. Does waste a fair bit of utility though, just off the back of the one stone form.
I mean, Hardecki as well gets a lot done over towards the other side of the map, but it is Shiv once again to shut that down. Looks like he wasn't saving a 6.3k either. He has just invested into a lot of 1250s, 3ks. Get himself a bit stronger at this stage of the game. But we are neck and neck again. 59k to 61k. It's pretty similar. Just the Mystic Burst there. You see how much damage it does. It's going to really help the Kelvin when it comes to laning. I'm surprised we've seen more aggressive airdrop usage and not a lot of airdrop usage over towards taking the urn as often. Just the speed at which you're able to get it across there. Like a lot of times you can't really react if you are Team Jamside.
And we could see that sort of being the inkling as well, right? The second you got the ult back at the 3k mark early into the game, instantaneous airdrop into the fight, double up with the Mo and Krill. Since then, every time it's been off cooldown, you're seeing it used. So it's that initiative to maximize your potential for the ultimate over the course of the game with the CD. Mo and Krill, oh, the harass master himself. Goes in, gets the combo off, make it uncomfortable for Yamato with the backup of the Ivy. Yeah, you might be able to burn a lot of HP here, but you're still going to get the same result, which is losing the Yamato, and once again getting a heavily stacked lane, pushing all the way up towards the Walker now.
Yeah, I think once we get to a point where the Ivy has a little bit more damage items, currently she's going a bit more supportive, healing booster, etc. She'll always be able to follow up on the Yamato combo. So much lifesteal coming through from Hardecki here. This is certainly an annoying character to go into late game. And the toxic bullets as well, that should really help versus the Warden, the Kelvin, as well as the Shiv. With that bloodletting, that damage over time should do a lot of damage over towards him. I do respect the toxic bullet pickup at this point. Pretty standard in the build from an Infernus anyway, but it will do even more damage. Look at this, the group up coming through from Recrent, and now we're going to start extending the lead here a little bit. Luckily for the guys over on Team Jamside, they're going to pick themselves up a potential Walker, but they will get their last Guardian, opening up their first flex slot of the game, Jacky.
And that's only going to be a further spike to their overall power level in terms of the potential here with the item synergization. Get yourself a little bit more to work with. Oh, mate. Trade game being played out, though. You take one of our walkers, we'll take one of yours. And this is so much more clear potential you're going to have to work with. So Mo and Krill goes in, makes sure to deal out with the walker, finish that up. Shiv's been on the roam, though, seeing just how much he can get done. And fair enough. I mean, at least in terms of the trade there, it's a 1 for 2 on the walker head count.
Yeah, I mean, for Team Jamside, that actually went very much in the favor of them there. Despite some of these team fights going very well, actually, for Team Recrent, it's just not working out so far for the boys over on this side. You see, you can actually get the perfect angle on the punch where you can hit all of the creeps inside there. So if you're ever jungling, there is positions where you can take where you can hit all at once with your punch. Very useful on Abrams, I'll tell you that now.
And that's what you want to be doing across the board as well. You see a lot of that in these games where you maximize the pathing in terms of how you even clear these jungle camps, the way you isolate the angles. You want to do it as quickly as physically possible. Oh, bit of a chase going on here, though. Run the man down, don't let him get away. Catch him hiding in the closet. And it should be a bit of a cleanup on this one. To pocket, taking out a commission. The dog pile back on in, though. Maurice making issues as Yamato gets caught, and Lash with a smooth moves on the getaway, at least being able to create some distance, but you can't outrun the mole.
Yeah, Mo and Krill is just such a chaser, bro. That's the big thing. And they might be able to punish on top of the urn here, on top of that as well. So getting the urn across the other side of the map. Instead, they're just going to look to take mid-boss, in fact. 2 players down to one of their Pocket. Pocket's going to get back there quicker because he was staggered. Vindicta holding on top side, just making sure they can watch. Again, we're seeing the same tactic where Punch is actually just stronger in the early game versus mid-boss, removing him. And you want to take this as early as possible, right? Versus the Kelvin, you don't want them to be able to use that dome to get them out of there. The Infernus, concussive combustion, insanely good at holding onto the Rejuvenator. Very well timed as well on that one, Jacky.
This has worked out perfectly for them. Even on the commit for the fights as well, Yamato going in first. It's going to be a 10-second stagger between both of the respawns that then have to come back out for them. So it makes it harder. You're vastly outnumbered. For Ivy, you're not going to be that bothered. You got the rejuve. You're back in lane now already. Ooh, Viscous on a getaway. Breaks the distance at least. So no lockdown onto him. He's able to peace out. Roll his way back to get back into farming. More hello. Mo and Krill always on the engage. And you're just freely roaming, causing issue after issue here. It's another complete takeout on Shiv, 30 seconds on a respawn again, and you're controlling the game pretty cleanly now. It's crazy. This is one blank where it feels like overall, in terms of the flow of the game, it's been relatively close in terms of the map control, the actual lane control, but the fights are just so much further ahead. It seems like Recrent have had their finger on the pulse of the game here in terms of winning the 1v2s, the 2v2s, and the team fights.
Yeah, I think when you look at a lot of this, to be honest with you, it is Recrent just picking up a lot more space around the map. We're taking the urn now as well with the space that we gathered there, with a couple of the kills that came through over towards Shiv. And I think that, you know, I was playing quite a lot of Viscous the past week or so. So I was watching a lot of the high-level Viscuses like Kaiser, etc. And I like the way we're currently seeing the Viscous play here on Team Recrent. Use the ult more as a repositional tool. Silence Glyph goes through onto Haze, into the lockdown. If you've always got someone there to support you, the lockdown is so busted. Okay, maybe I'm playing Mo and Krill in my games from now on.
I think it's got to be done, mate. He's a mighty, mighty mole, and he's in his prime.
The mighty mole.
Oh, okay. Here we go. We had one smooth game. We have run into a bit of a technical issue here, though. So don't press the alarm button just yet. Shiv's gone. So Shiv's gone for the DC. We've lost Wulfee. We'll get the ports in. He can reconnect. I would hope. Everyone cross your fingers. Because we're 17 minutes deep here.
I don't like it. It's 17 minutes.
I don't want to say it, but this is the tipping point, isn't it? 17 minutes is where it seems like things go wrong. Normally happens whenever there's a pause. So, yeah, hopefully that's not been the case.
Come back now, please. Anyway, let's have a little choose your own adventure session. Yeah, I mean that would be good. Look, that would be good. But we also like playing the game. So cross your fingers. Let's hopefully get back in. In the meantime, we can take a little bit of a look of what's going on in this game and look a little bit more items-wise. Right now, you have Warpstone on the Viscous. Nice item, honestly. Using it during his Goo Ball ultimate, being able to Warpstone into people, it will apply the stun on top of that. So that's interesting to see on that side.
Ooh.
We're back in. We're back in.
We're back in.
Perfect.
All right, we did it, everyone. Good job. You can uncross your fingers now. But keep your toes crossed. You don't want to let those go.
I will say one thing. I mean, with the Rejuvenate, we've not really got a lot done in terms of lane control, lane presence.
Yeah.
Like, finally, we're looking to take some walkers on side. Ivy shooting so incredibly fast over towards that left side. So they send the majority of the team to deal with that one. I think they might just about get this. In comes the Lash, though. Big flog. That's a lot of damage.
Oh, absolutely slamming on them. And with the backup of the rest of the Death Squad in the lane there towards Yorkside, you put a lot of pressure on, start to flip the script. Now, if you can get these multiple eliminations across the board, burn their way through, you can get rid of that rejuve, take them out, leave them back with just damage across the board. Mo and Krill can't survive this one as much as he'll try for the getaway. He's hit the burrow. He's actually pulled it off for the maneuver.
He is out, dude. You cannot take down the mole. Mr.
man.
Maurice lives forever. Decay comes through, important here, especially with the team having so much spirit lifesteal and lifesteal in general. I think the majority of Team Jamside has picked up Decay. But again, the big thing here was the fact they had Rejuvenator, so they traded deaths for the Walker. They're just creating more map presence here, and they all get back up into play. It was lucky that Mr. Maurice got out. But in this instance, it's not looking too bad for either team. 118k to 118k. We just pick up improved burst here for the pocket, so that'll increase damage by quite a bit. And the standard majestic leap, as you can see on your screen, to combo that with his ultimate, affliction, as well as barrage on his one.
All right, things starting to get spicy then. Coming up to the 20-minute mark overall. Scoville scale going up and up. And when the mole gets away, the mole does what it does best. Goes back to the jungling.
That's the big one, bro.
Yeah, dude,
That's the
Phantom
big
Strike into the combo. If he was annoying before, it's about to get a whole lot worse now.
Yeah, being able to Phantom Strike, but you do so much burst on Mo and Krill, honestly, with the Phantom Strike combination. He is just trying to remove as much jungle on the map as possible. Yamato and Shiv heading over towards his way. But it is so even right now. I think that players are just looking to fill their slots before they go for the next team fight. Ern's picked up, though. That's over towards Team Jamside, so potentially a fight. Though, if I was Team Recrent, I actually might just give up Ern to try and take 2 walkers and get myself the last, or the 3rd flex slot here.
You've got the Vindictor and the Infernus close by. Outnumbered, though, 2-1 in a battle of attrition. Shiv's going to be able to dash straight in and get the deposit on that. So the executive decision being made to take the urn, make sure he gets the confirm across. Warden doubles up with the lash as well. So you're going to lose out. Recrent goes down. So no Vindictor maneuvers there. Can't battle back. Bit of pressure on them. 30-second respawn on him. Quick rotate for the Warden as well, looking for the movement back over to assist the rest of the squad and link up with the Kelvin towards purple lane side.
Yeah, Heroic Aura also picked up as well already for the Warden. So that will be increasing the damage of everyone on the team, including the Haze. So it means the Haze can get a ton of extra fire rate just having Warden next to him. I don't think it's the right guy to hit the combat one, personally. He does so much damage considering that. That was actually a very nice dome into the drop and the lash. I really like that, dude. You lock them in place. Yeah. You drop the dome when he's ready. That's perfect. That's 2 kills down. Team Jamside sets up a wonderful little combination there.
No, that's huge, man. You buy so much time for the rotate over, let Lash cause issues, whipping them back, and then just everyone dog piles up, put a bit of pressure on the wave, fight up towards the actual Walker itself. Infernus with the damage back, though, causing problems on the other side of things to try and force them to come off of the lane and look to further rotate around. So they have to split their attention. All right. The jelly's been dumped all over the floor, made it slippery here towards the lane on the chase. Ivy with the support. Nice blink back across as well. Oh, mate. Puddle punch. Near miss on the getaway.
I mean, Infernus goes down, but you trade that for a Walker. It's not too bad. And it sits them 4k souls behind now. So we're looking at 2 Walkers still left in play, 1 for either team. It's a bit of a slower game. Last time we pushed this to the limit, but some good picks and bans coming through here from Team Jamside to try and shut that one down. Again, there is a lot on the side of Infernus. Mid-boss is back up. And now, here's where things get tricky for Team Recrent, because they know with the soul lead that currently the guys on Team Jamside have, especially having Kelvin as well, they can make an attempt on mid-boss whenever they want.
The old Jungaroo, though, happening right now. Make sure they maximize the soul potential. See if the Haze can get herself back into a better position in terms of the farm as well. You were trailing behind for a good portion of the early to mid game. 25k souls currently. You want to pump up those numbers. Get her into a position where she can really come online towards the end of this one. Being put back under pressure. Oh, mate. Hello.
I want to look for this team fight here. I think both teams wants to confirm over towards the mid boss. Decay on the Ivy stops the big heals from coming through, and she is just ticking down. This is a great way to keep her out the fight. Pkmp is down. In comes the Yamato, and the Decay has done so much. Finally can use the stun. And it is a little bit more in the favor here of Team Recrent. Maybe they start the mid boss off the back of this.
Dogpile on the mid boss. See if they can get this one under the belt and lock it down. Give themselves a bit more to work with in terms of the Rejuvenator. Obviously, the 20-second stagger there, with a slight difference on both the return for the Yamato and the Shiv. Doesn't give you much potential to fight for this. You're more worried about the actual lanes themselves. Warden pushes out back over towards York side a bit, so at least that lane's going deep, up close towards the inner Guardians. Everyone else has good presence on both of the inner lanes. He's going to TP back across. Power up spawning in as well. Ivy on the quick rotate round for that. Can grab it with a backup of Mo and Krill. Ooh, that's going to be the gun. All right. Extra damage to work with there. Always tasty.
Yeah, it's very nice. I mean, we have gone fully supportive on the Ivy here. Chemical Fire, improved cooldown, slowing Hex as well, healing booster, as well Health Nova. So yeah, fully into the heal side of things. So that Decay, actually that Decay was a really big Decay over towards Ivy. It kept her out the fight long enough that she couldn't really drop the Health Nova. She couldn't hit the rescue beam. It was sort of a struggle for Psycho to get too much done in that last engagement. So I like the way they dealt with that. Another Decay comes through as they push in, and Wulfee instantly takes down Xaniya. That's a really big pick off, and this looks very bad now for the guys over on Recrent. In the meantime, you've got Hardecki dealing with two players solo currently, but he's about to go down.
Seeing if you can make the getaway. Oh, mate. The airdrop for the turn back around. Call an ambulance, but not for Ivy. Re-engage off the back of it with the support of the rest of the team. You're absolutely cleaning house now on the team fight. It's only Hayes and Yamato that remain. Yamato will not be alive for very long on this. Trying to bail as quick as possible. Viscous on the chase. Hits that one with a splat. Puddle punch into the Hayes as well for the knock-up. Oh, mate, this could be an absolute cleaning, leaving them in a really rough position. Hayes, even on the getaway, that leaves you with one person for the defense. Walker's going to go down and get burned. Yeah, you're running away with things now, Blank. That's the flex slot and map control for free for at least the next 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think honestly, the big thing is that the fact that they had the rejuvenate and they could force a lot of those engagements anyway, and with it only being 26 minutes in, these spawn timers aren't that long. So being able to get back into the fight is kind of big there. And they trade off another Walker, which unlocks that fourth. I think it's the third flex slot there. Unless they've already taken a shrine, which I didn't notice. I think they have. Yeah, they must have done.
So fully stacked out. Flex slots on flex slots. And the farming continues.
I didn't see them get that shrine, but they must have done it really, really quickly. So 4 flex slots is kind of massive, actually, for Recrent.
Yeah, I think they hit it with a cheeky back door, mate, right under our nose. And it's only going to further add to that power spike.
Oh, no. It's it was where Mo and Krill was. Okay, it was where Mo and Krill was. It looked like he had the fourth flex slot. He didn't. Yeah,
it's just covered on the minimap there.
Yeah, I just couldn't see it.
It's all right. It's all right.
I have eyes on Krill.
It's early doors for the spectating.
It is. It is. Yeah. So back into the game, and we're looking over towards the Mo and Krill, who's struggling a little bit. That was a crazy rundown. Fully cancels the ultimate, the unstoppable, not brought out in time, and that ruins the chances. The Haze, can they capitalize off the back of it? Yes, they can. And Team Recrent going crazy.
And again, this is another one of these team fights where you could absolutely rumble them now. Back up with the Infernus IV combo on the chase down, making it awkward for the getaway. Ooh, quick reposition with the Ice Path, and Kelvin, he's going to be put on a cooldown for that one. Infernus bringing the heat back up as well with the follow-up damage. Yamato absolutely eating it on the getaway. barely alive for the reposition back in towards base, looking for the quick heal, but you're caught on the fadeaway. Infernus with a turn and burn. You're going to dogpile in now, get the burst damage back off on towards the shrines. And this is just them cleaning up, dude. This is another team fight where it looks super clean for them. 3 players on a respawn. Hayes is back up in 4 seconds. 20 seconds dagger on the other 2 as well. Pocket cursed and popped.
Yeah, I think they were being really cautious about this one. They weren't sure whether to take the shrine or not. That is a nice little invulnerability coming through from the Infernus into Dimov, who's had a hell of a game here. I really like the fact that he built into the melee damage early on, Jacky, and then from there, fully went into the spirit power. The drop into the combo goes crazy.
It's really clean. Like we saw the telltale signs of it in the early game with that opening play off the back of the IV, but the fact it's been so usable, and you're just maximizing the timing on it as well. Every time it's off cooldown, it feels like it's used for the aggressive engage, work it in off the back of the combo. You've always got access to it, and it's been doing numbers for them. Talking of numbers as well, this is going to be the huge DPS dump onto the patron, and you should be able to finish this one.
Yeah, I mean, there's 20 seconds on the clock. Unless the Warden and the Yamato can do something crazy, with Ivy having the huge fire rate as well as Infernus, Pocket will hit hard, as will the Vindictor. Yeah, this should be game. Believe no, they might have enough time actually, Jacky. They need to take down the Yamato though. If they can stagger that, it would be massive.
Yamato dealt with. You get the respawn back up on the Shiv and the Lash. Lash with the ult could buy time, depending on the flicker round. Wanted to flip them back into the base, but didn't get enough of them hooked in. You're still getting chip damage onto it, and you'll be able to survive through that one, finish things off, and pick up the series. A 2-0 in our semi-final then. Team Recrent locking that one down on their side of the bracket here in the semi-finals.